Hello everyone, it's Sean from TaekwondoSean.com, and today we're covering a follow-along warm-up. Check it out. Alright, so today we're going to be covering follow-along stretching, which means that you guys are going to be copying what I do as I do it in real time. We're going to start with jumping jacks, push-ups, leg ups, and then stretching from head to toe, making sure that we include all the stretches that I enjoy and that I find the most beneficial, and all the exercises as well. Leg ups, I think, are one of my favorite exercises. Alright, so let's get into it. Alright, so let's start with 45 seconds of jumping jacks. And go. You want to make sure that you open and close your legs, making a nice triangle on the bottom. And you're clapping above your head to activate the back and the shoulders. Make sure you keep a good posture throughout the whole exercise. Next up, we're going to be doing push-ups. Now we're going to do 20 push-ups non-stop. If you can make it through the 20 push-ups without stopping, that's great. If you cannot make it to 20 push-ups in a row just yet, then what you can do is do them in sets, 2 sets of 10, or you can choose an easier push-up like the knee push-up or anything like that. All right, make sure though, we're not doing half push-ups. So when you go, don't go all the way down. Because in Taekwondo, it's better to have the full mobility of the shoulder for our punches, because we're punching from our belt to the target, which means that we need that full mobility. So make sure no half reps. You gotta go all the way up, all the way down. Take your time and get to 20. Now, if at any time during this video you find that you're falling behind or you're struggling with one of the exercises, you can pause it. And that way you can catch up or practice that motion, and that way you can keep along with the rest of it. All right, so next up we're going to be going into our leg ups. The leg ups are a great way to engage our core and our lower body, and pulling it up and putting it down. Make sure you keep your legs straight the entire time, and you do the full range of motion from the ground all the way up, back to the ground. Let's do it. Now, while we're doing our 20 leg ups here, make sure that we engage our core, put our hands underneath our buttocks, so that way we keep our back flat on the ground at all times, engaging the correct muscles and avoiding injury. So we're going to count 1 to 8 in Korean. Usually it's going to be the instructor, the 사범님, counting 1 to 8, and then the practitioners counting back, the Taekwondo-in, back to them. For me and you, I'm going to count twice. That way you guys can have some extra Korean counting practice, and there's no awkward silences. So let's do it. So we're going to start with the up, down, left, right. Make sure during our day, our neck is not too craned forward, and we're looking in all the directions. So while you're stretching this stretch, make sure you go the full range of the neck motion, so that when we're doing kicks and punches and blocks and rolling, we don't get injured. All right, remind your neck how far it can go. So let's start. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Now we'll do neck rotations. Again, make sure you're reminding your neck how far it can go. Do the full range of motion, okay? 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Good. Next one, we do shoulder rotations. So rotating forwards, make sure you come together, your arms touch your ears, and then go forward, spread apart, touch your ears. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Now the other way. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Good. Now the shoulder and back, we're going to stretch the shoulders as well. The opening and closing. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉. Oh, that's number 9. Anyways. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. And then we rotate our body. Try to get your shoulder to pass the center line without pivoting your feet. Like this. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Good. Next one, reach up, touch your arm to your ear, and lean all the way to one side. Make sure you don't lean forward. Make sure you don't lean back. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Same thing on the other side. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Good. Now the hip rotations. Again, we're climbing stairs, sitting in chairs, running around. So there's a lot of forward and back, but not a lot of side to side. So remind your hips how far they can go. Okay? 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Other way. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Good. Hands on your knees. Knee rotations now. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Make sure when you're doing this exercise, you can't see your toes when you're going over the toes. So bend your knees enough. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Good. Open your legs. And then turn all 10 toes pointing on this half, and then point your toes up at the ceiling and bend your body forward, keeping a good posture with your shoulders and neck. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Other side. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Now all the way down. Remember to keep this foot flat on the ground. These toes pointing up the ceiling, and then go as low as you can. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Other side. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Good. Now we're going to turn. All 10 toes pointing the exact same direction. Bend your knees, and you're trying to lower your hips as much as possible. Feel the nice stretch here in the flexors. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Other side. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Good. Now all the way down. Put your knee on the ground, and then lean forward. Good. Feel the nice stretch in the hip flexors again, and the quads. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Other side. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Good. Now the next one, the pigeon stretch. I find a huge benefit from this stretch when I do it. It feels good in so many places. Good. Keep a good posture in your back. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. And then the other side. Good. Keep good back posture. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Good. Next one, the butterfly stretch. Good. Bring your feet as close to your body as you can. And then we tell the younger practitioners to flap your wings as a butterfly. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. And then from here, keep a good posture. It's better to go less and keep a good posture than it is to go while arching your back further, but then you're going to cause injury in the long term. So lean forward, keep your back in a good posture. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Good. From here, you can stick one leg up. And touch your toes. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Cross your legs and do the same stretch and notice how much more difficult it is. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Good. Rotate your ankle. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Other direction. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. And hug your knee. Bring it as close as you can. Feel a nice stretch in your glutes here. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So the single leg toe touches, leaning forward. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. And the same stretch, cross your legs. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. And then the ankle rotations. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Other direction. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Good. And then our grandmaster, actually, Kwangjangnam would actually make us squish our toes down both ways. Lots of cracks. All right, now hug your knees. Good. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. And the final stretch for today is the splits. So in our dojang, we say Taekwondo. And we go down as low as we can. Good. Rotate. Let's get a little further. Good. Now try to have your hands as close to your legs as you can, toes pointing up so you lie on your hips. And then from here we can count. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. And everyone stand up. So there you go. That was a follow along stretching, along with the counting and everything, going from the top to the bottom, making sure our body is ready for Taekwondo techniques. Because the worst thing you could possibly do is get injured. Because injured means you can't train. Injured means you gotta take a break from that thing you love, and all your momentum comes to a screeching halt. So we wanna make sure we avoid that if we can. So before you do any kind of Taekwondo training, stretch, warm up. And after you're done your Taekwondo training, if you wanna go that extra bit, you wanna improve that much more, stretch after your training too, and you'll find that you get much more flexible. And flexibility is so important in our life and in Taekwondo. This is the way. Train hard, stretch well, and we'll see you guys on the mats.